whatever we need to remove, we get to remove at least one thing. Wicker Bow's fine. You could also run that other guy that has the kicker, destroy anything. We can run a variety and see which ones we like best. And then there's the one I was testing, which was the kicker, destroy non-creature. We want to hit both enchantments and artifact if we can, says Ike. I don't get sabotage for this deck, it's not going to copy itself. It's just not, because I just don't have enough creatures, is the thing. What is the name of that card? It's a common. It was from Zendikar block. I can't think of it, but I was testing one in the sideboard already. Caustic Caterpillar. I'll look at it, Wimbologist. I am thinking of Mold Shambler, thank you. Thanks, Dorjin. Yeah, I was going to test some number of Shamblers. This also hits land. It's just flexible. I mean, we get to 6 mana, it's not that difficult. And we get 3/3 afterward. Wicker Bow takes out an enchantment or artifact, and you're left with a 4/4 afterward. Wicker Bow just might be more, like, maybe we only need a little bit of land destruction. We already have a Fault Grinder that's serving that function, tutorable off of the empath. Maybe we're fine with just a couple of Wicker Bow Elders. It might be good enough just to blow up something and then be left with Elder afterward, you know? This is essentially 5 mana to destroy an artifact or enchantment. It leaves you behind with a 4/4. You want me to run Caterpillar? I'd love to run more targets that are tutorable, though, off the empath. I think Mandrills is at the top of that list. Caustic. Oh, this guy? Yeah. I'm with you. And we're trying to go big, though. I mean, I'd love for somebody to find a really, really spice. I'm not sure if I'm happy with the random Fireball. I mean, I know we're a big mana deck. I understand this is flexible and gives us reach. I'd be interested in maybe somebody doing some research. I've already done a lot myself. Just maybe, are we sure these are the 6 targets we want for empath, you know? Because really we should be building around this guy. This is what we should be building around, the empath. Are we sure that these are the 6? Ogre, this gives us a main deck, destroy artifact. Crusher, this gives us an 8/8 Annihilator. Weaver means we're a little less weak to flyers. Splicer lets us go wide. This gives me 2 3/3s and a 1/1. Mandrill's, of course, the most mana efficient, period. We should still run 1 to 2 of this. Trooper says, what exactly am I looking for? And then this gives us land destruction. I mean, I'm just curious if there are any other sweet, sweet targets out there. We've tried some other targets besides these as tutorable threats for the empath. I mean, yes, you can just naturally draw some number of these, and you will, but it's nice to be able to tutor for specifics. Splicer and Crusher are just the best. So, I mean, maybe we've already found the best of the best. Let's go grab the other Elder. I think Melfina's right. Melfina, I hope you're still here, because I ended up going with your card. If Melfina is still here, I want you to know I ended up going with your card. Not that that's why I picked it, but I think that she's spot on. I think being left with a 4/4 afterward is very relevant for this style of deck. Like, we can't just sideboard into a bunch of, you know, removal and hope that's enough. Like, I think, nice, it's free. You are? I think you were spot on, Melfina, because, like, this also leaves us with a nice juicy 4/4 afterwards. So, and I think that's a lot of where this deck's weakness is going to be. When we start sideboarding and I side out some of these threats, they'll be like, oh, well, land destruction isn't good in this match. Let's bring in a Wicker Bow. At least the Wicker Bow is still a big threat. And is it lightning bolted, etc. I want all these targets to not be lightning boltable. So this is a 4/4, 8/8, 3/5, 5/6, 4/4. The only one that's boltable is Splicer, but Splicer still made other dudes. The other big mana would be the 8/9 Trample Drowsy. Cytospawn Shambler lets us go wide. Cytospawn. Like, incrementally wide? I'd love a card that lets us, like, incrementally make dudes, but the only one I found was the buyback spell. But it doesn't really fit in our deck. There's a buyback spell we could run. The And another thing to notice is like our mana base is very volatile. Like between Lumberjack, Woodlots, and Needles, this deck literally has a slash and burn mana base. I don't know if you realize that. Yeah, the buyback options for this format are pretty limited. Assume we want green-red only. Green-red colorless. Yeah, so Crushers, Splicers, Fault Grinders, stuff like this. The only ones I considered were Fury. That's just not good enough. I considered the Sprout Swarm because it's got Convoke. Ambush Crotic lets you bounce the tutor. Yeah, like we were gonna run the Ambush Crotic Treebeard. I like the Ambush Crotic, except if they're gonna kill the Empath. Yeah, Ambush Crotic or Sprout Swarm could be cool in this as well. Yeah, Ambush Crotic was actually a card we thought about, or I thought about even before I showed you guys the deck, Treebeard. Not to say you're wrong, Treebeard, I'm just saying we're on the right wavelength. This is really cool because it comes in and you bounce the Empath and you get to use the Empath next turn. Or that turn, depending on how much mana we've made. But probably next turn. So you get a 5/5 Trampler that gives you value. It's a form of value. Like, against, like, another value deck, this is exactly the play I'd want the deck to have. I'd want to go Empath into Crotic and to use Empath again, get a Mandrills, or get any of these other things. Yeah. This is very powerful. This also lets us reuse other cards in the deck, like the Splicer would like to be reused. Fault Grinder would like to be reused. Defiant Ogre would like to be reused. Yeah. We could reset a Wickerbow Elder with the Crotic. There's a lot of potential for Crotic in this deck. A singleton Crotic. Probably more than the Sprout Swarm and the... I'm not sure about this big old Fireball. You know, let's go with the Crotic. We've wanted to test this for a while. Let me grab one. I think that's exactly what the deck wants. Reusing all of those tutors or big threats seems really cool. Just run Presence of Gond. I played against a Presence of Gond deck, Wombologist. I wasn't too impressed, but yeah, I mean that's an option. I'd still rather run the buyback spell. And I think because our mana base is slash burn, I just don't think it's different. Like as far as like some of the other ramp decks that I've been told about or at least heard about, like Tron in Pauper. What's nasty is you can run Expedition Map. Anyway, it's a common from Zendikar. Anyway, I hear that that's arguably the best ramp deck, but I would like to be a more explosive one. If this deck is going to have a place in the format, we just have to be more explosive. Run Tajuru Beastmaster, gives our 1/1s, makes it a threat. Yeah, you could also run not just Beastmaster, you could also run... I also thought about the segmented Crotic because it's got Megamorph. I like the idea of Ambusher. Matchup says Sprout Swarm. Yeah, we were running Sprout Swarm. Or I was thinking about Sprout Swarm. Night Soil. Oh, yeah, Night Soil, yeah. Exile 2 creatures and get a 1/1. Yeah, Night Soil's interesting. It'd also be, if there's like a graveyard deck based off of creatures, you could run Night Soil. Yeah, green, exile 2 critter cards. Is this uncommon, though? I don't know if that's legal in the format. I think it is, though. Gik says, I actually really want to build my own. Do you? It's a lot of fun, Gikman. Actually don't mind. I haven't minded brewing on this concept on Pauper decks. Seems like it might be a fun format to actually brew in. A lot of people have been trying to convince me to do it, so I figured we'd do it this week. Maybe then I'll play something other than Warmer. You don't like Presence of Gond? I thought you'd be all over the 2-card infinite combo. No, Taryn. I was... nah. Tajuru Beastmaster or Invokers could be good in this deck. Let me try to remember Beastmaster here. Let's look at Beastmaster for a moment. There's Invokers, too. Yeah, like this is an option. Yeah, but I don't have any other allies to keep recurring this ability, though. I mean, both of these are 5/5s for 6 that just have some value. At least this one's trampling. I also thought about the Invokers. If you guys remember the Invokers, those all might be really cool. I don't know if all of them are legal, though. I know the green one is. The yeah, Wild Heart's legal. The white one isn't. The red and green ones are legal. So, Flame Wave is just take damage. Okay. Yeah, Flame Wave. And Flame Wave is legal in the format, this version. So you got Flame Wave Invoker, you've also got the green Invoker, which is Wild Heart. Valakut Invoker is interesting as well for these big mana decks. Voided Rose links the deck poll. Yeah, I mean, like, these are also an option, right? Or Lava Flume, creatures you control. This one lets you go wide. All of the different Invokers are an option for this deck, too, because you get a dude that you can do stuff with later. All of which died a Lightning Bolt, though. Like, I think Wild Heart Invoker would actually be where this deck wants to go. Or you can use Invoker's removal. Like, I almost would rather just, like, give a dude 5/5 and trample. We're not really going wide, so Lava Flume doesn't make sense. I mean, Valakut Invoker is strong, too. I kind of prefer the Wild Heart. I was thinking about testing some of these different Invokers in here. Let's just grab them. They don't cost us anything. Basically, they're all micrometers of a ticket. Those are all options for the deck if you want like a mid-range creature that has some potential in the late game. Again, I don't think these cards are that great for the deck though because, again, it's a slash burn. Pardon my pun, it is a bit of a pun I suppose because it's a Lumberjack deck. It's a slash burn mana base. Basically, and again that's kind of the knock to the Crotic, is once you get out a couple of these big threats, your mana base is just devastated. You've probably used the Lumberjack once or twice. Your woodlots and your needles have probably been used up. I mean, it's a very interesting take on ramp. I hope you realize. Let's jam with this version and then see if we make any more progress. I'm just saying, I'm well aware that it's a slash and burn deck. You kind of only get to do those big things once or twice. Any pauper decks using Blastoderm? I have no idea. Ike thinks the trample will be better for our deck. Crows and Tusker will let us grab land and cantrips. Well, it's Treebeard isn't Crows and Tusker. Hang on a second. I thought Crows and Tusker was a basic land. Is it any land? Because then I may need to look at this card in a new light. Oh, I spelled Crows wrong. Is Tusker any land? We looked at Tusker earlier. I thought this was a basic. It's basic. Yeah. I still like the card in the deck, albeit 7's a lot just to get a 6/5, whereas a lot of our 6/5s or 5/5s are just 6 mana or less. It is just a basic, but I like Tusker. I'd probably go with the OG. Yeah, I like Tusker though in this list. I mean, yeah, I would cycle and draw. It's a vanilla 6/5 though. I don't hate this idea. I'm pretty happy with our targets though so far. Including the Crotic. I think I am happy with the Crotic. What's nice is this May. This is May, right? No, it does say return, but it says another. So let's say somebody goes to kill the empath. I don't get the value, but at least Crotic doesn't come back. Oh, weird. Okay, but this hand worked? Not really. It also has like 3 of our big drops. It's mulligan. This one. I wouldn't keep this one either. Obviously, it's a no-lander. This one could work. This one's not great, though. This one seems a little too fair as well. We'll keep and see how we scry bottom. Yeah, Cat Murder. We talked about Orochi's Herd. I'm not that big a fan of the Herd. But yeah, Herd would be, like, if we could fit a bunch of Herds in the deck, that would be another form of advantage. It'd be a slow army of 4/4 zone, that's the problem. It says it stole a lot of ideas from this deck. Are you referring to my Lumberjack ramp? I'm just not even that interested in putting in the mortuary, but it's probably still the correct play. I I just want to attack with this wave.